David.
And I'm Eve Soboleva.
And welcome to our video series on co-creating, a story about a man and a woman and how they can get along better and co-create with everyone in the world through love and dancing and joy and music. So this video is going to be about the outline of the movie, and we're going to share with you about that and how we came to that and how it relates to co-creation in general and frequencies and everything that's happening in the universe. So I'll just give you a quick overview of the movie. And the idea is that there's an engineer man who's always in his head, and a female Russian dancer who is very emotional, and she does life through feeling instead of through logic the way that the man does. And so when they first meet, they realize that they have this, what we call a root chakra, or what's the chakra right above the root chakra?
Above?
Yes.
Sexual.
The sexual chakra. They have an attraction to each other, right? Which a lot of times in our culture we mix that between love and just attraction, right? And so the movie is about how they feel connected and attracted through that sexual attraction. But as we all know, that is not all that there is to you. There's more to you as a being than just your sex. And I think in this culture, especially in the United States, we push this sexual attraction a lot. And so I wanted to develop a movie where we talk about the rest of you and not just that part of you. So anyway, going back to the movie. So the two characters meet in the movie, and they're really attracted to each other, and they fall in what they call love. And so the lead male character's name is Jake, and then the female is Angela. And then Jake, like a lot of guys, is not sure about being committed to just one person through his whole life. And so he's questioning whether this is the right idea for him or not. And the way that he learns to figure that out is through the experience of dancing and dancing with Angela, because Angela already loves dancing, and he wants to relate and connect with her. And so he decides to learn to dance, and he is able to connect the physics that he does in his day job, which is an antenna engineer, to the physics of dancing and to the art of tuning in to yourself and tuning in to other people. And so that's the gist of the movie, and of course you'll have to watch the movie and see how it ends. Right now I just want to bring Eve in here on the conversation, and we're going to start talking about how sound and frequencies and vibrations relate to all the chakras that we mentioned earlier, and how they really relate to creation in general. So Eve, can you do us a favor and walk us through kind of each of the chakras, what they are, what they stand for, and how it relates to frequency or creation or vibration?
Of course. Thank you, David. So in the very beginning, you mentioned that we're going also to talk about creation. So there is a certain creativity idea that we have in all our universe. Probably you're familiar with the principle of octaves. And this is how our universe and all the creation is built, by the principle of octaves. And as you know, in the octave there is 8 notes, right? And and first and last one are repeated one. So, and we as a human beings, we have 7 energy centers, and when there is at the end of this energy center, there is an interval which is also connecting us with the source of creation. And when the two principles, female and male, comes to play, they change in the vibration within each other. It's not only about man and woman, it's just all the principle of creation, where the feminine energy polarity, known as Shakti in Hindu philosophy, and the masculine principle is known as Shiva in the Hindu philosophy. And what they really are, they are really a potential and a power of manifestation. And Shakti is the one who is manifesting. It doesn't mean that man doesn't manifest, not at all. But we are, as an advanced human being, the more advanced human being, the more self-expression and self-manifestation they use. So as David mentioned before, the movie is about how the love story is started to be based on the first 2 basic chakras, And this is just the beginning of a law of attraction, of co-creation, because everything that is going higher than a heart, which is like a midpoint of consciousness evolution, is going to be expressed creatively. So a throat is a self-expression energy center, and then we move our energy to, when we become more conscious beings, we move the energy through the throat, through the heart, through the throat, and start being more intuitive and completely self-expressed and open for a consciousness which is collective consciousness. So the basic chakra, first chakra, root chakra, it is representing the groundedness. The second chakra is a representation of physical activity and also sexual activity. Third chakra is a representation of a will, of a strength, of power, and the heart is a kind of the first level of consciousness, which is connection, which is embracing, which is moving with the frequency of love. And the next chakra is the throat, where all the creativity arises from. This is a skill of singing, painting, writing poetry, and people of art is very familiar what it means to have very developed throat chakra. And then we have a third eye, which is here in between your eyebrows, and this center is making you feel intuitive. All of a sudden you start predicting things and you become really multidimensional being. And the last one, seventh crown chakra, is representing being connected with all the universe and understanding that you are not a separate being, that you're connected with all the creation, no matter if you're a woman or man, and which power is more represented in you and more bright. Yeah. So all these principles of feminine and masculine and all the chakras and evolution of consciousness, this is a separate thread in the movie, and this is why we decided to bring the dance as a creative power where men and women can participate and to be more self-expressed as a step to a collective evolution and revolution of human consciousness and beings as species.
That's amazing. So beautifully said. Thank you, Eve. That's great. So I really appreciate Eve being here because she studied all of these chakras in great detail, and myself as an engineer, as I said earlier, I've studied the frequencies a little bit and how they relate to each other, not in the detail of how they affect the body as much, and not in the detail of how they relate to each other, and also different layers of awareness and of consciousness. So Eve, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Yes, you're welcome.
And so just one more final note on the movie here for this video, and then we'll continue to talk about each of these topics in more detail in future videos. The idea is that emotion and motion are related to each other, and so it's through the motion of your body that you can experience all of the emotions, and each emotion has a different frequency. As you see on the chart here behind us, Eve didn't mention a specific frequency like 200 hertz, but you may have heard that different colors are a representation of different frequencies. So as we look at the chakras on the chart here behind us, you can see the bottom at the root being, which color?
Red.
Which is red, which is a frequency that our eyes relate to and interpret as red. And then the next chakra up, the sexual chakra, is
orange.
Orange, which is the reason that it's orange and not red is because it's a different frequency. And then the next one up?
Yellow.
Yellow. And so forth, all the way up through your being. And so the idea of the movie is that it's a good idea to learn to experience all the frequencies so you can experience all of yourself, and therefore accept all of yourself and accept all of the other people and all of creation. We are all a combination of all of these frequencies, and life becomes better when we allow all of them to flow and we tune into all of them. So Eve, just to finish this video out a little bit here, can we talk about the white? And there is no white in the chakras, and we had you wear white today because?
I'm wearing white today because white is the spectrum of all colors in one. And it's the color of clean, clear, divine color, so you cannot attract something negative unless you're really a bad thoughts thinker. So it's a color of clarity and freedom, and also like clearness, transparency and clarity. Yes.
Thank you. So thank you so much for watching this video. We're going to go ahead and complete it here, and we'll look forward to seeing you next video where we talk about love in more detail. Be well.